Welcome to Your Hometown Solutions. I'm your host, Jean Newell, and we're here to discuss everything real estate from foreclosures to Feng Shui. And in the studios with me today is Jonathan Lack, my co-host. Jonathan has a wealth of information because he wears three hats all the time, and we take advantage of those three hats. One of his hats is he is an attorney, a real estate attorney with Lack & Lack Chartered. He also owns and is broker of Waterview Realty, and he's owner of Waterview Title Company. So welcome, Jonathan Lack, to the studios again.
Thank you for having me back, Jean. It's always a pleasure.
We have so much to discuss, and in our half-hour shows, we just touch on it, but we like to bring in experts that really delve into the things that you need to know about buying, about selling, and one of the things that we talk about on Your Hometown Solutions, and we do have a website if you'd like to go visit that. Kind of gives you some tips on decorating. I like to say my shows are very similar to the shows that you might see on HGTV, the remodeling shows, the tips, and so forth on real estate. And speaking of remodeling, we're seeing a lot of house flipping right now. People bought that about a year or so ago. It seemed like the investors were coming out of the woodwork buying things. Did you notice that as well, Jonathan?
Yeah, well, the market is definitely improving, and we seem to have bottomed out and are starting to creep back up in price, and that's what brings investors.
Right. We don't want to let people think that we're going to have another bubble or anything, but it's a nice, steady gain in real estate. In fact, we're seeing approximately a 12% increase on the Space Coast. Some areas are a little less than that, and some, especially beachside, is much more than that. So we can give you some stats maybe a little later on in the show as far as what's going up and so forth. But based on all the cities, I just got a recent stats. The majority of them have gone up in value as well as sales from last year at this time to this year at this time. And just as an example, the Vieira Suntree North Wickham area, they sold last year 3,117,230. Boy, that's right, almost down to the penny, isn't it? So over $3 million worth. This time, same area, this time this year is over $5 million. So we're seeing a lot of increase in prices. So bottom line is what we're saying is if you're even thinking about buying a home in the near future, this is a good time. You don't want to do what so many people ended up doing back in about 05, 06, buying at the top. Hopefully we never have that downslide again, but you want to get on that exact right incline. You want to have it where you can still afford what you want, because if technically real estate's going up 12% a year, what you can buy today for $100,000 is going to be $112,000 next year. And the same with $200,000. It's going to be $224,000. And that's going to make a difference on what you can qualify for. And speaking of that, we have one of our favorite guests on, Carolyn Wolfe with Certified Mortgage Planners. She's going to talk a little bit about how you can qualify a loan and various things you can do that maybe you didn't even know about, because there's all kinds of ways to borrow money now. We have a whole list of questions, 199 questions that buyers and sellers should be asking their real estate agent. We're going to talk about 3 or 4 of them each show. Today's show, we're going to talk about the 3 questions are, what is equity and how can I use it? The second question is more down the better way to go? The next question is, what do I need to do to ready myself for a loan? So welcome, Carolyn Wolfe, to the studios again, and we appreciate you coming in and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you, Jean. Very happy to be here, and I just wanted to also reiterate my NMLS number to keep me compliant is 268538. And again, it's a pleasure to be back here with you.
Certified Mortgage Planners. Now, one of the things that A lot of people don't realize the difference. There is a difference between a mortgage banker, and that would be someone that you would go to your local savings and loan or where you have your checking account or something like that, and they offer mortgages. And you think, well, ABC Bank, where I have my checking account, they have mortgages. I'll go there. But that's a mortgage banker. You're a mortgage broker, and
Correct.
There's a difference. Explain to our audience the difference between a broker and a banker.
Okay. The difference between a bank and a broker is the bank we all have to abide by certain guidelines and rules. But the bank, if you go to one specific bank, they can add their own specific guidelines or do's and don'ts that they don't want to partake in. So they're limited. Whereas as a broker, we work with a bunch of different banks and a bunch of different mortgage companies. So if you might not fit in the box for A company, we can put you with C company.
Right.
So,
and I think a lot of people think a broker is going to charge more, but that's incorrect.
That's absolutely incorrect. We are wholesale. So one of the nice things, too, is that bank is not providing me with desk space, insurance, health insurance, vacation time, and things like that. So it's all based on wholesale pricing, and that's the other thing that we have the option for you to do or to search for is to get you the best pricing possible and the best product to suit your need.
I know I talk to people that'll say, gosh, I was turned down at my local bank where I've been banking with for years, and I have money market there, I have my car loan there, I have my savings account there, and I got turned down. But then they talk to someone like you, and there's 2 or 3 options for them.
Absolutely.
So it's very tricky. And I think one of the things that makes it simple to understand is most banking institutions only have one product. They usually don't have more than 1 or 2 products that they can sell. And if you don't happen to meet their criteria as
Correct.
far as qualifying for that mortgage, they have to turn you down. Where you have the wide open spaces of finding something for them.
Right.
Because how many companies do you think you represent? I mean, it's probably dozens, but on average.
Well, I would say our company certified mortgage planners with the NMLS number of 1420061.
Let's get that in there.
We are licensed and approved with over, I think now we're at 20 or 25 lenders.
There you go. So there's something out there.
Yes.
And one thing to point out that I'm a big fan of mortgage brokers, and for the 30 years I've been practicing, I've always recommended that a good mortgage broker is both going to earn their fee because of the wholesale retail thing. But in addition to that, they're going to come to you, they're going to fill out an application, and then you're going to pull out the appropriate information you need from them, and then you'll be able to submit that application to the appropriate lenders, up to 20 of them, but
Right.
typically you'll pick 1, 2, or 3 of them, and you're going to do all of the work to get them approved through that lender. Whereas if the customer goes to their local bank and gets turned down, now they can drive to the next bank down the street and get turned down and drive to the third bank down the street. And each time they're going to have to fill out a completely new application, provide all of the same tax returns, bank statements, pay stubs, all that stuff. They're going to be doing a lot of time processing.
Yeah.
And why do that when Carolyn can do it for you, get it done right the first time, and get you the best deal?
That's an excellent point, John.
Carolyn Wolfe, let me give you her contact information. It's Carolyn at FloridaLendingPro.com. That's what you are, as a lending
Yes.
pro.
Yes,
So
I am.
Carolyn at FloridaLendingPro.com. And her phone number, do you want the primary one given out?
The cell phone, 321-795-9103.
So you can text or call you.
Absolutely.
By the way, when you text, sign your name because people don't know who you are when you text. I've learned that out. When people are texting me, I go, "Who am I talking to?" I have no idea. So put your name on there for sure. So that's one of the big differences is a broker and a banker. Now, it would be different if maybe a broker charged more. Maybe you could understand that. But in some ways, you can actually give them a better deal.
Absolutely.
By going through you. It's cheaper, as they're not going to be paying anything extra for it, and you're getting all of that knowledge in your pretty head
If you don't mind,
in one-stop shop.
Yeah, I'd like to put in a pitch for all of us professionals in the real estate world, and that is when you hire a professional to do a job, a good professional will typically earn their fee. So whether it's an attorney who is looking out for your best interest and ultimately saving you some money because somebody was overcharging you, or there was a clause that was overlooked or something, and I often earn my fee by protecting my client. As a real estate broker, when you're going to sell a home, buyers inevitably, the statistics show that a real estate agent typically will sell a home for more than a for sale by owner. So yes, you're paying a real estate commission, but they're earning that fee because they're professionals. They know how to stage the home, how to market the home, and how to get the highest and best value. A mortgage broker will shop your loan around and get you the best interest rate. So if you go to your local bank, you might get, I'm going to make up a number here, 5%, and Carolyn might be able to get you 4.5%. So she's earned her fee on a 30-year mortgage. That's going to save you a lot of money. So again, this is my pitch for professionals everywhere. The important part is to hire the right one.
Yes.
You want somebody who's got knowledge and experience and can help you and represent your interest. But when you hire a professional, they will typically earn their fee. So don't be afraid to pay someone to do a job, because if you pay them to do the job and they do it right, you're probably going to be saving money.
Speaking
Absolutely.
of that, speaking of earning your fees and going to professionals, this happened back in 2003 and 4 when real estate was starting to sell to, almost anything was selling at any price. It was crazy. People came out of the woodwork to become real estate agents or inspectors or mortgage bankers and brokers. People all of a sudden jumped on the real estate bandwagon. They think they're going to, kind of take advantage of the situation. And what'd you call it?
Make a quick buck.
That's right.
Get rich.
And I always say, when any industry all of a sudden sees a spurge of energy, you get the skimmers and the scammers coming out. So everyone I know has to start somewhere, but please, right now, especially in the market we have going on, when you start choosing your mortgage broker and your inspector and your real estate agent and your attorney, find people that have been in the business, that have seen the ups and downs. They know real estate backwards and forwards, and they're not going to be someone that just, their license is still wet. It's so new, because I know everyone has to start somewhere, but I would never right now in this market trust this important information to someone, especially if they're brand new. But that's when you need to maybe have the advice of people that train others. And again, just as a little side note, Jonathan Lack, who is a real estate attorney here on the Space Coast, he is the broker of Waterview Realty as well as the owner of Waterview Title. Just to make sure that those 3,500 licensed real estate agents know what they're doing, you volunteer your time to go to the board, the realtor board, and train these people. So there's not so much confusion, and that's now up to a 4-hour class. And we still don't think we get everything covered in those 4 hours, because contracts today can be very intimidating, and especially on a newly licensed person, there are just so many ways that you can make a mistake, let's put it bluntly. And with your guidance, you're helping those real estate agents understand. So why not go to someone that already knows the contracts backwards and forwards? If I had a question on any kind of a contract or any kind of a real estate example, I'd be calling Jonathan Lack at Lack & Lack Chartered for his real estate advice, because that's the person that knows everything. You know the law, and you know how to keep us out of trouble, that's for sure.
Well, thank you, Jean. I appreciate the plug. And with that, let me just put out my contact information.
Yes.
Which is, the telephone is area code 321-953-5115. And I can be reached on the web at www.lacklaw.com. That's spelled LACKLAW.com. And we practice, it's me and my father in practice together. You speak of seasoning. Dad has been doing this for over 55 years now and still comes in the office every day to help me run the title company primarily, and also answer many of my own real estate questions. And I'm over 25 years now in practice and have done exclusively transactional real estate work, not exclusively, but primarily real estate transactional work. So if you have questions, hopefully I should be able to answer them. And if I can't, I can find the right person for you.
Did you give out a phone number?
I believe I did, but I'll do it again. 321-953-5115.
And just quickly, because we'll probably have a lot of people from South Florida listening as well, you have a branch office in the Pompano area. So, again, if you have real estate questions, you would like to maybe find out a little bit about a situation that's not so cut and dried, or you handle a lot of foreclosure defense, you handle probates and things where people are inheriting or they've gotten married and two people want to be on the title and the kids are all wanting to know that their inheritance isn't getting shortchanged, and